Yeah, this is Garby Allen, and you're watching AEW Insider.
What's up, peeps? We're back. As always, I'm your host, Lee Benson. Thank you so much for joining us for the YouTube edition of the AEW Insider. As you can hear, I'm losing my voice, but you know me, man. I fight through it all, and I want to bring the news to you fans. So as long as you can put up with my voice, I'm going to bring you some great news. We got a lot of AEW news, and I like that because this is the AEW Insider. So first, I'm going to give the results of the Revolution pay-per-view last night, and then we got some juicy good stories, man, from backstage at AEW after. I got some WWE news. There's a new Ring of Honor champion. Let's get to the show. AEW. AEW Revolution results. The first match of the night was the Dark Order against SCU. In the end, the Dark Order won, which I really like because you want to give them a lot of momentum for the storyline that they're doing. Plus, Matt Hardy, hopefully the Exalted One is coming. After that, we had Jake Hager versus Dustin Rhodes. Jake Hager tapped out Dustin via submission. The match was so-so. It wasn't bad, but it wasn't great. We also had Darby Allin versus Sammy Guevara. In the end, Darby Allin did beat Sammy. It was a really good match. These two young talents, they can move. And I love when Darby shows off his quickness. It was a great showing for both of them. And for me, what I thought the match of the night was the AEW Tag Team Championship match. It was the Tag Team Champs, Adam Hangman Page and Kenny Omega versus the Young Bucks. Adam Page and Kenny Omega did retain their titles and defeated the Young Bucks. It was a great fucking match. The Elite got rough with each other during the match. The storytelling was great. Page even spit in one of the Bucks' faces at the beginning. It was good stuff. We also had the AEW Women's Championship match. It was Nyla Rose versus Chris Statlander. Now, Chris Statlander is a huge star. She's going to be AEW Women's Champ in no time, but Nyla Rose destroyed her, and it was the worst match of the night. It was horrible. We had MJF, my dog, versus Cody Rhodes. I've been telling you motherfuckers for months that MJF was going to win, and guess what? He did. Did he cheat? Who the fuck cares? He's the best in the game right now. And this match could have stolen the show, but I'm sorry to say it did not. I found it very slow, actually, which sucks because they both kick ass, but I'm fucking stoked that MJF went over on Cody. Cody revealed a pretty big-sized tattoo last night on his neck. It was of his American Nightmare family logo. It's very well done, but it's a little bit too big for my taste. And we'll get back to that tattoo later in the show. After that, we did have Pac versus Orange Cassidy. Now, this match kicked ass. It's just what I wanted to see. Even though I knew Cassidy would lose, he kicked ass and got to show people that he can wrestle and he's not just all gimmick. In the end, though, Pac did defeat him. And finally, we had the AEW Championship match. It was Jon Moxley versus Le Champion, Chris Jericho. In the end, Jon Moxley actually won the fucking title off of Chris Jericho. It's another match that I feel was not as good as it could have been. I love that Mox won, but I felt it was too soon to give him a belt. But I'm going to explain to you why they did in a minute. Overall, I thought it was a solid pay-per-view. Not one of their best, but it was still worth the price of admission. Now, ex-Le Champion Chris Jericho gave props to Goldberg. He said, "Congrats to my bro for becoming the WWE champion once again. Some don't get it, but those who understand this business understand that bill equals big money. Who's next?" Backstage talk has come up about why Jericho did lose his AEW title. Sources say he lost it because Jericho is doing an overseas tour this summer. So letting him lose now is great because if he held the title right before his tour is about to start, everybody would know he was going to lose that match. So they surprised everybody a little bit early. Also, Brandy Rhodes announced that she will be managing a new AEW tag team. The team is made up of QT Marshall and Dustin Rhodes. They're being called the Natural Nightmares. Now back to Cody's tattoo. Social media was abuzz about his neck tattoo. A lot of good and a lot of bad. I thought what Brian Pillman said about it was great. Pillman said, "It's simple. He's wearing it on his neck so it's always visible. It can't be covered up easily. It's symbolic of him going all in on his brand and his company and not having a backup plan. I mean, he's literally got his neck on the line for AEW and his family. skin in the game. Cody also revealed his big plan on why he's been buying old WWE trademarks. I have reported for about a year now he's been buying up all the trademarks he can get. He was asked about WWE trying to sue them over using a Bash at the Beach trademark even though he bought it. He said, "It's a legal nightmare. This is AEW's first Bash at the Beach, and it also might be AEW's last. WWE is not particularly happy about all the trademarks I acquired. Trademark law is actually basic, everywhere but wrestling. Wrestling, there's this idea if you buy something but let it lapse, it's still yours. The spoils of war. Wrestling legitimately had a war between WCW and WWE. WWE actually won. The amount of bad fallout that came from that is so much larger than the good stuff. Does WWE do a good job as custodian of history? Absolutely. The network has done well and they do some stuff well. But there's been a lot of things they didn't take care of and they let lapse. Anything that was connected to my father, I wanted to pick up. I don't know what my grand play is here. I just wanted to pick it up and have it for my family. I'm not making any money off of it. I think my grand scheme was I was going to get as many things as I could to irritate them. So they were just like, hey, you can have Starrcade. Great American Bash and Starrcade are 100% my father's. I would rather those than 100 Slamborees, he said. You see, my boy Cody will not be stopped from using things that his father invented. I love it. Dustin Rhodes did an interview with the New York Post, and he was asked about Luke Harper and Matt Hardy joining AEW one day. He said, I think they bring creativity. Harper, man, he's incredible. I worked with him many times with the Wyatt family. Me and Cody did. And he knows his stuff. He's not a greenhorn in the business. He can help people. He can take them to new heights. He can get them there and at the same time get himself over in a company that will allow him to do so. Matt Hardy, if he comes in here, my God. He's been through so many different variations on YouTubes and things like that with WWE. He's so creative in all the things that he does. Tony Khan was asked about AEW's one-sided relationship with New Japan Wrestling. Khan stated, they're a great company, and a lot of my guys have worked shows there. I have no problem with those guys as long as they're not interfering with what we do. There's some flexibility we have. It's been fine for me. It doesn't really bother me. Hasn't really been a two-way street though. Haven't seen a lot of their guys here. Don't hear from them often. If New Japan is watching, you're welcome from all the great stuff I've done for you. If you want to send somebody here to do work, I would treat them respectfully like you guys have treated my guys. Generally, when my guys have worked there, New Japan has done right by them. WWE. In shocking news, WWE has canceled the men's elimination chamber match. They're still going to have the women's and tag team match in the chamber, but no men's match. That makes no sense to me. Well, John Cena returned on Friday night. We now know that he chose to face The Fiend at WrestleMania. Cena actually drew WWE's highest ratings for SmackDown this year so far. I reported months ago that Booker T was suing the video game company Activision. The lawsuit is because he feels they use his likeness, his gimmick, G.I. Bro. I myself think it does look just like Booker, and it looks like the judge does also, because they gave him the okay for the case to move forward. The judge said, because of a side-by-side comparison of the works identified in the plaintiff's complaint, there's sufficient evidence that this case should move forward. Ring of Honor. A new Ring of Honor champ has been crowned this weekend. It was a triple threat match between the defending champ PCO against Rush and Mark Haskins. Rush was able to best both of them, and Rush is now your new Ring of Honor world champ. Random wrestling news. And finally, ECW legend the Sandman is in a little hot water after the way he acted during an Atomic Revolutionary Wrestling show Friday night. The company posted a statement online when the event was over. It stated, on Friday, February 21st, 2020, we held our 30-year anniversary show at the Space Coast Convention Center in Cocoa, Florida. Pulling the curtain back to let the world know, the original scheduled match was the Sandman vs. Shannon Moore vs. Chico Adams vs. Vertigo. It was for the Next Level Championship match. It was scheduled to go 12 to 15 minutes. The Sandman was so drunk and botched the finish, ending the match in under 3 minutes, and proceeded to grab the microphone and go on a drunken, unscripted rant and try to play matchmaker. Also that night, he called the town Orlando when he was actually in Cocoa, Florida. Aside from the many backstage problems, including sexually harassing some of the women wrestlers and insulting the talent on the card, he caused damages to the venue, nearly getting into a backstage altercation with the talent. Unprofessional is an understatement with his drunken behavior. Needless to say, we will never work with the Sandman again. Alright peeps, that's it for this show. I know that was really, really rough listening. I thank you guys for sticking through it. It's probably like nails on a chalkboard. Anyway, check us out on all major podcasting platforms, Facebook and YouTube under the AEW Insider, and on Twitter under the AEW Insider 1. I'll be back in a couple days, peeps. Ciao.